Hello guys, welcome back to a new tutorial in Tech Basha. Today I have come with something new, and obviously this is not something a tutorial. I'm showing you something, a product which I have designed called Capacity Manager. So this is something used for ensuring that you have adequate capacity, and whether you're breaching a particular threshold in your infrastructure. For example, say if maybe say a regulatory guideline wherein it advises that all of your system should be there below 70% of usage. So this is something a product which I have learned in my career and tried developing it so that it can help other people. This is my own developed application. This is not a third party tool. This is not an open source product. It's something which I have designed and proudly I'm showing you this, and if you need assistance you can always contact me. So let's dive in. I'll show you how it works and what are its benefits. First, let me log in. This is something it looks like. And before I begin, I would like to add on this is something actually a regulatory requirement. This has been made based on the regulatory guidelines in stockbroking industry. You can always come back to me if you need any assistance on these kind of systems. So I'll show you like start to end. First, kind of about sessions is talks about it as a capacity manager and developed by me. Release number, you can see the not releases, what are the bugs enhancement it has been incorporated in the release. Navigations starts with masters, holiday list, reports, compliances. Then you have admin part, home. And before I actually show you the system part, I would like to show you this application is dynamic. You should be able to change everything that you want in the system. When I say everything, the most of the parts. For example, say you can change the logo, you can change the navigation bar color, you can change the footer bar color, you can taste its sub text which is written here at the bottom. So these things something very customizable. And also if I log out, I'll show you this image and this image. Both the images are customizable. You'll be able to change this from the system settings. I'll just quickly log in again. This is again integrated with Active Directory. If you have Windows Active Directory, something can be integrated, and this is based on the web config. I'll quickly show you the user management part quickly first. Simply, you can create a new user from here. For example, say I need to create a new user. For example, say Big Badsha. Okay, okay. I can assign a role directly from here and create that user. Once you create that user, you'll be able to see this user here. You can always modify. The username cannot be changed, and rest of the settings you can always change. The real name, the nickname, and the department. If you want to change a user's role, definitely you have to go to admin, use the roles, find out that particular user, go to that user. You can always change whichever permission you want to assign or DS. So that's the way it works from the user management. It is integrated with Active Directory. And if that username is not present in your Active Directory, the user will not be able to log in. And this does not sync any user from the AD, simply checks the username. Now coming to some of the areas like holiday list. Holiday list, you'll be able to incorporate all of your holiday list if you have permission in the system. So if you go to update holiday master, be able to add which holiday you want directly from this screen. And whenever there is a holiday, the system will not consider that into consideration while doing any calculation. I'll quickly show you masters. So start with adding the location. So you can add locations as per your requirement. For example, say you may have a data center in two different geographic locations. You can add like I have ADC, GDC, Chennai, primary DC, United States. So whichever data centers that you have, you can add it here, their location. create capacity master. It's something an option which is given basis your location. You can create capacity master like it is actually a template which is required by the regulator for regulatory purposes. So for example, if you to go to, I'll show you how it looks like. I will go to this reporting area. I will show you the capacity master. For example, say I have to show it for two locations I have, ADC and GDC. For example, I have to show for GDC. Look for, say I have to go for July, and then you can do view report. Once you do this, uh, basically for July, so you have 31 days. So you can have these details like, what is the device type, it is a Windows or a Linux, what is the date, what is the source host, what is the monitor ID, and then you have this install capacity, then disk capacity in GB, and here, and obviously the CPU code that I missed. Then here, if you see this average CPU usage, average memory usage, average disk usage, and max CPU, max memory. So these are the values. If you see till here, it is for 1 day, and then rest all day two, day three, it will continue. And at the end, if you go, it will show you the calculation, the number of instances in that month, which is like beyond 70%. So it was for 10 times this particular IP address. And if you notice, you can also see if there are any holidays, it says, sorry, weekend, it says Saturday. So this is something which is marked holiday in the system. All Saturdays and Sundays, basically, these are not the in the broking industry, these are not the trading days, right? And obviously Sunday also. At the same time, if there are any holidays, that will also reflect, provided that you have added that to your holiday master. Okay, so this is something location-wide report you will have in the system. Then can that also can be converted to Excel. If you export this, the system will give you a Excel file of this. Okay, I'll just show you. Same thing is exported into a Excel, and that can be seen. It highlights those values. If you do this manually, it will be a very tedious job. So this is why this application comes into the picture. So you will see how this data comes here. As of now, I've shown you the capacity master itself that can be like whichever location is activated in the system. For that, you will be able to generate this report. Now, this something which I'm making it because this is the way the system works. When I say capacity master, for example, this is something a template. Okay, so as soon as you keep importing the data, the system will be start populating and give it to you. For example, say I'll go for October and show you view report. If I show you this, you will be able to see this holidays, Gandhi Jayanti, and then you will not be able to see the data from day 6 onwards because something which I have not updated in the system. As soon as I upload the data, accordingly, these columns will start populating it. Then I'll show you reporting part again. I'll show you daily reports. For example, say for my GTC location, I want to see, say I have to say for September, and I need to see for day 11. Okay, and view report, and we'll be able to see this report. And any of the cases, if you want to export this report, you'll be able to export it. However, this application is not a monitoring tool which generates this data. This data is you are the person or your IT department will be uploading in the system. That also be like there are possibilities that we can automate. It will pull this data from your monitoring system and automatically pull in without any manual interventions. So this is something daily basis, which obviously the data that you are uploading it, you will be able to generate it. And for the calculation person purpose in the masters also, you saw this field was there. So, for example, say you may be needing the analysis. Maybe say, for example, if you a qualified stockbroker, the guidelines maybe that you have to generate it 50%. Should be at 50% always, right? You should not exceed, I mean, your hardware resources should not exceed utilization more than 50%. If you generate this report, now you will see any value which is greater than 50 is getting highlighted. If you export this, this will also be exported and highlighted as you can see in the screen. Okay. So this is the daily report. I'll come to monthly report, which is important. I'll be generating it, for example, again, say September month and say view report. So once you report, I mean, view this report, you'll be able to see this. And at the same time, very important part here that I would like to highlight, it will give you the highest peak of that month, highest memory, I mean for CPU, for memory, and this for the highest value and the number of instances. That means if says 8, that means 8 time the utilization has crossed the 70% reach. And which date? These are the dates. And then whichever comments that you want, you can always add those comments. I will come to this how it is. This is just a template here, the remark section taken. However, system has a provision to enter it. I will show you in some time. So this is for analysis purpose only. I've shown you the monthly report. However, this monthly report, if there are any changes in the daily data, if there are any correction, you can always come here and generate it. For example, say as on date, the calculation which was done here on the right hand side, if you see, this is 70%, right? So any resources, any hardware resources, wherever the utilization has crossed 70%, this is the number 8 generated basis that. In case in your organization or for any purposes you want to generate with the report for more than, for example, say I want to check for greater than 50%. What I have to do is I have to regenerate this report. For example, say September view, so right. So I'll generate for September and generate report. Now, if I go here and generate this report for September and to change it 50, again, this number 50 or 70, which I'm mentioning here at the time of viewing the report, this is just for highlighting. However, when you generate this report here, whichever number that you will mention basis that, the entire calculation happens. I'll show you. If you were earlier it was 8, now it is coming as 20, this number. That means 20 times or 20 day, which are the days you can see in the bracket, the utilization, the 70% earlier it was, now you can see the 50%. That means these are the dates when the utilization has gone beyond 50%. And this is exactly the regulator's requirement. So this is something I show you the monthly report. Again, this is all supplementary. Uh, the requirement that we submit to the regulator is actually the quarterly one. So I'll show you the quarterly report. So I have this period, July to September. I'll view this report. You can see this monitors and the utilization here. So the difference would be here. You will see, this 6 columns. You can see for July, August, August, and for September. So what we saw the daily report, then we saw the monthly report. The daily reports, say for example in a month, for example in July, there were 31 days. We have 31 daily reports, then we have consolidated that into monthly report. Obviously, all this is something done by system itself on a click. You are not doing it anything in Excel. Then this entire data is converted into quarterly, and all the calculations there we saw the numbers were uh, based on the what do you say, the threshold, right? Here 70%, right? Here this also can be changed. However, this data which is here 24 is based on the monthly. For example, say I generated September's report, right? And that number should change. So if I regenerate this report, this 24 number will change. Let me try it showing to here. Let me regenerate it. While generating this report, what we have to do is, you know, just I'll make it 70 only, because obviously this is consolidation. Here the if you hover on this bulb also, it say this value determines when a usage percentage CPU memory disk is considered a breach. Values above this will be calculated, right? So this is for highlighting and this is for calculation. So what I'll do is let me make it 50% and I will generate for say so basically quarterly report is generated basically quarter. So for example, we are in July, August, September. Any of these 3 months, if for example I'll say July also or August also, it will automatically understand the quarter and generate the report. So let me go and again, sorry, some way I went to the monthly one. I need to go to quarterly report, generate, and I have to make it say July, August, September, right? I can say even July or September or whichever light comes in that quarter. And you say basically here, if you see this is not there, the threshold value. Why? Because the consolidation is happening basis three monthly reports, right? And let's generate this report. Now we go back, see this again, and then we are viewing it. The number 24 is now you can say changes to 48. Why? Because the monthly report that we generated, we changed that value, right, to 50%. So this is the reason this is changing to 48, right? And obviously once this is done, you can always export this report. So you can see always this data 48, 52, 101. So wherever this number of instances will be there, it will highlight and it will give you a report like this. Now, very interesting part here, I will show you the which is under compliance. So add update remarks is the first thing that we see. I'll show you, for example, say July period, and you can always filter if you want to see for Linux monitors, you want to see for Windows monitors. For example, say I want to see only for Linux, I can view, okay, and then it will give me all the records of Linux monitors, right? If you want to see only for Windows, select Windows, and again, whichever drop downs are under any of these reports or compliance or admin or even holiday or master, everything is write controls. So whoever has rights of that system, I mean that particular module, they'll be able to access it. Else they will not be able to even see the drop down. Okay. So here now I'll remove the filter and do this report again. Now here, what is the purpose? This is for entirely internal reporting, and in case if you are representing to your tech committee or internal reporting, all these can be managed. Now for example, this one here, we have to give which service got affected. For example, say batch job. Okay. Now impact, what was the impact of these number of instances where the utilization has gone. So obviously this has to be manual. Obviously whenever these instances would have happened, there would have been alert, right? There would have been some action taken. Now you have to write what was that impact. You can write no impact. Now RCA, heavy load, or maybe in the action taken, job restarted. Something like that can be a legitimate answer. You can just submit. Once you submit, it will save the record, and if you view it again, you'll be able to see it. So this is something your senior people or whoever is responsible for this, they'll be able to come in the system and they'll be able to mark this, right? And this data which is coming as a compliance breaches, all of are coming from your reports, right? Now for July months, I'm doing this, and let's show you the other report, HOD test check. We did for July, but we'll do is here HOD test check, meaning the HOD, the responsible person who is responsible for the quality checks, will be reviewing it, right? And it's not that because sometimes they will say, okay, this has happened because of that, and this did not be something we require a proper answer, right? So, but the HOD does it here, it comes here. HOD means whoever will be the senior person, right? So they'll come here and mark that as compliant. So let me check that entry. So if you see this, right? So here the HOD will come and mark the status as compliant by you know clicking here, and it will mark as compliant, and this icon will get button will be turned into green, and they have to give basically HOD has to give a remark like accepted or okay, whichever you want. The user can write, or you can always revert with a red, marking it non-compliant. As of now, accepting it and then submitting it for review. Once you submit it and come here, you will be able to see your responses are recorded. Okay. Now your HOD remark report. So now this is the final report. If you come here, for example, month of July, just read only report. Here you will see whatever was the input given, right? And obviously if something is compliant, it will mark it green color as compliant, and something which non-compliant, it will mark into red color. So this is something this application does. Obviously you can always export this to Excel. Okay, now you'll be able to see the entire remarks and data that was there on the screen, right? So this is the application which does it. Usually I've seen in the organization they do it all manually using Excel base. There may be mistakes. Then auditor also questions a lot, like why and how it's that. So this is where this application comes into the picture and makes your life easier for your regulatory reporting. If you need any help, contact me. I'll be able to help you on this. Thank you. Thank you for watching Tech Basha. Thank you.